Today we're going to be talking about the Grav assault rifle that was just added into Warzone as part of the Season 6 update at Tier 31, completely free. I did skip a couple tiers so I can unlock this, level it. I already went through, did Dark Ether. We'll take a look at that in game, but I'll also talk a little bit about the stats and where this will fit within the meta. If you enjoy the video, learn something new, please do me a favor, hit the like button. If you're brand new, want to find your way back, double check, make sure you are subscribed with notifications on. Reminder that my Gfuel code is discounted 30% off until the 11th. So if you're looking to stock up or try something new, use code JGOD or the link near the top of the description. Okay, so one of the main things you want to look at with a weapon like this is if you're going to be able to use it for range or close range, or if it's going to work for a sniper support. So we can kind of take a look at how the recoil works and how difficult it is to control. Obviously, it's about 45 meters. Most of your engagements are going to be about twice this, around 80-ish, 90 meters when you're going to be using a weapon like this. And then you kind of figure out if it has a decent amount of recoil. And overall, it is kind of bouncy. Even without aim assist there, that's only 45 meters. I would imagine it's going to be pretty difficult to go ahead and shoot somebody at range, especially when you have a recoil pattern that is as violent as this is right off the jump. It's going to make it a little bit harder to actually hit this target. So I don't think it's going to be as viable at long range. I think on Rebirth, if you can control the recoil and you can manage to kind of keep it straight, you'll probably be fine. In terms of sniper support, I think this is where it's going to be a little bit of a strong suit, and we'll go ahead and explain why when it comes to TTK. But overall, pretty much if you go ahead and you're still going to have the recoil, but the benefit is even if it's sniper support, at least you'll be able to kind of hit targets at closer range. The rate of fire is solid. So we'll go ahead and kind of see how that looks when it comes to like just checking it out in game and kind of comparing the overall stats. Luckily, I was able to get some testing in on the private matching before they removed them because there was a bug that allowed you to use the Vanguard STG. I posted a Twitter clip if you want to go check that out. But I was able to at least get the base damage values. Unfortunately, I didn't get the damage value difference for that RK730, but we'll talk about why that's probably not as practical as we go through this here. So we have the overall rate of fire, 750. I got 747, but normally we just round it to even numbers because that's kind of normally where it's at. The damage range is 25 meters, which is pretty much in line with a lot of the Cold War ARs. And then we have a headshot value of 40, chest of 30, stomach 30, limb of 30. So it behaves a lot like a 5.56 weapon, no surprise. And then we also have at range 36, 27, 27. And it goes from 7 shots if you land mostly headshots, 9 up close, 10 at range. Fairly consistent. If you get 1 headshot in the mix, it will lower the TTK, just 1. Then if you manage to get multiple headshots, you could lower it, but a little bit less practical at 4 headshots. The ADS, the bullet velocity is pretty fast, 1300-ish with the meta build that we'll talk about. The speed mag, the same. The RK730, it is a little bit faster because it does have better bullet velocity, but normally when you're going to use the weapon, you would use it more like an SMG if you're going to use the 30-round mag. But we'll kind of see why the damage values aren't all that important when it comes to that weapon. Then the Grav, we have the 45, which is supposed to be a fast mag, and then we have a sniper support build with the bullet velocity at 942. Still very good with the sniper support build, and we'll talk a little bit about how you can get this even faster, but this is just kind of idea what this looks like. The ADS speed, pretty slow, kind of like a Farah. We have 317 with the sniper support, and if you use the regular suppressor, you can get a little bit faster, but you're not going to have as much range or recoil control helping you out with this weapon having a little bit more recoil. Reload, it does get significantly faster with the 40 speed mag, which could be a way to go if you're looking to go ahead and be a little bit more competitive, get a quick reload in. The problem is the damage per mag is incredibly low. Up close, we're talking about 1625 compared to at long range around 1463 based off the values there of 33 being an average and 29, which is not all that great. We can kind of see how that stacks up with the rest of the weapons for both close range as well as long range. So when you use our TTK compared spreadsheet, we can go to the bottom and you can see the color variations of what things are going on. I've kind of put an outline around it so you can kind of see how it performs when it comes to close range. You can see that it's not doing too well in terms of DPS, which this is sorted by. And as a sniper support, you can see it tends to do a little better once you get 1 headshot in the mix and you get a little bit further at range, where obviously the up close weapons will dominate up close as they're supposed to. They're SMGs. So you can't, it's kind of hard to compare on that. You would compare it more to like an AK, which normally has around 600 TTK, and it takes 2 headshots to lower that. So in reality, if you get 1 headshot in the mix, the Grav can actually kill faster. There's a faster rate of fire, so it's a little bit more forgiving. But if you aren't getting any headshots in the mix, 640 TTK isn't all that amazing, and you can get you really in a tricky situation, especially since it's a little bit slower. You'd have to be a little bit more passive. You couldn't like push a building with this thing and feel confident with it. Even if you're building it as more like a sniper support build, it's just not going to be fast enough to compete. So it kind of gets in a tricky area there. Even though the TTK with one headshot is very good, as long as you're able to get that one headshot in the mix. Then when it comes to the long range, its bullet velocity can be very fast, upwards of 1400, 1500. And right here, the rate of fire 750, mag size 50 with the long range damage of only 27. That gives us a damage per mag of 1350, which is not that good. That's just kind of bad for a long range weapon when we're considering long range weapons. And I think they really should have just given this thing a 60 round mag to compete, because then you're talking about an extra 10 bullets there, which isn't a huge difference, but you end up with some other things where it's just like, you're just not dealing enough damage at range. Even though you're dealing 27 with the headshots in the mix 36, it's just not enough damage to consistently down players. So this could be definitely used in solos, duos, maybe even trios a little bit, but you're going to be in some tricky situations, because unless you're 100% accurate, you're not going to be able to down 3 or 4 players, 5 players at the max there. Long range DPS, you can see it does pretty good because the rate of fire is pretty good and the damage combined gets that number. It's normally about 10 shots to kill, but like we said, one headshot bring it down to 9, drop from 720 down to 640. So overall, TTK is pretty solid. This thing feels like it melts. It doesn't have the open bolt delay of a lot of these other ones, so it will feel like it melts like the FFAR, but it does have a little bit more recoil range, so it could be a little bit impractical to hit those shots, and it will really come down to the player skill level. With that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the 2 builds that I'd recommend for both long range and a sniper support. So when it comes to sniper support build, we'd pretty much run agency suppressor, field agent grip, 50 round mag, the airborne pistol grip, and then we have the microflex LED. You could get rid of that and maybe get a little bit better strafe speed. The reason I run the 50 round mag over the fast mag is because if you're going to be using the sniper support, you can't really afford to slow yourself down anymore. So that's what makes these ones impractical, because they actually hurt your recoil, aim down sight. So even if these things do a lot more damage, which we'll have to kind of wait and see, unfortunately, they remove the option to test that for me. It's going to be incredibly hard to get consistent kills with a slower aim down sight and not enough bullets to down people, because then you're switching the balance of how the weapon would be used, and it doesn't make as much sense. But we'll find out if this thing's broken sooner rather than later. And then the agency suppressor, or you can go with the regular suppressor, because the bullet velocity on this thing is pretty solid at range. It's just not going to get as much recoil control from the other one, or any kind of range to that 25 meters, where you're going to be able to excel between about 12 up to 25 without any additional barrel. So those are the 2 different options for sniper support. Pretty straightforward. And then if you want to go ahead and go with the long range option, just follows the standard meta. It will be a little bit slower with agency suppressor task force. You can't really afford to get rid of the field agent grip, in my opinion. Even though they don't help a ton, it will be enough. And then with the 50 round mag, I really wish it was a 60, kind of slow reload, but it gets the job done. 3x, 4x, hollow, depending on what platform you're on. You want to make sure you get the optic that's going to work best for you. But overall, the 3x is generally what I go with. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, learned something new. If you did, please do me a favor, hit the like button if you're brand new and want to find your way back. Double check, make sure you are subscribed with notifications on. Thank you for watching as always. Have a great day.